Ladies and gentlemen, your sweet Zionist white colonizing prince, Tall the Traveling Clad here, coming to you live from an undisclosed location. We've got a clip to look at here from a Palestinian nut job. Let's see what she says.
What is your reaction to what occurred in Israel on Saturday?
I wasn't surprised. Anybody who's been paying attention to the suffering of Palestinians now would know that there is no people who can withstand the kind of intense subjugation and oppression, ethnic cleansing, settler colonialism that they have, and just acquiesce to their suffering and oppression. At some point, Palestinians, like all people, are going to demand freedom and resist.
And freedom in the Palestinian narrative is raping women and holding babies hostage for a year and holding an 86-year-old man hostage for over a year and murdering them and then parading their caskets, their dead bodies around in caskets in Gaza after you sign a ceasefire where your entire nation is destroyed. Liberation, ladies and gentlemen.
Occupation, and they have tried every avenue of political means, every avenue of peaceful resistance, and every single step has been blockaded to them. Particularly in Gaza, when you have a 16-year siege, land, sea, water, blockade. The United Nations said that it would be uninhabitable by 2020, and it's 2023 now. So those conditions are a powder keg, and every...
The UN said uninhabitable by 2020. Shall we take a look at clips of Gaza in 2020? Shall we take a look at clips of Gaza in 2023? Where there were luxurious knafa restaurants and Lamborghinis on the streets of Gaza, swimming pools and mansions, and these so-called refugee tent camp cities were full of high-rise buildings and luxury hotels where people were traveling in and out. We made a video covering Yusuf Abu Hatta, who moved from Dubai in 2021 to come live in Gaza for better schooling opportunities. I don't know about the UN. I'm not sure the UN really clocked in the right estimate there.
Palestinian has been saying for years now, this is an unsustainable situation
Correct.
for Palestinians. So there was no surprise at what has happened, just extreme tragedy that we have allowed this to happen as an international community because of the lack of will
Correct.
to start imposing international law and treat Israel as a state that should not be afforded the luxury of impunity in the way that it subjugates Palestinians and oppresses them.
We'll give impunity to all the other Arab nations around. So like the 300,000 people killed in Lebanon, 500,000 people killed in Syria, 500,000 people killed in Somalia, and 50,000 in Sudan, and 380,000 in Yemen. We'll give them impunity. They can continue on murdering each other, murdering Muslims, murdering Arabs in the millions every single year. That doesn't matter. Let's just ignore that fact real quick. But if Palestinians start a war and Israel defends itself against that war, big no-no. Big no-no. We should not let them do that.
You say one of the reasons for the atrocities that occurred in Israel on Saturday is the oppression of Palestinian people. Do you separate Hamas from Palestine?
No, I think it's a question that doesn't really make sense because...
Well, Hamas is a terrorist organisation. That's how we identify them there. And there are innocent Palestinians, absolutely, that have suffered, as have there been innocent Israelis that have suffered. But Hamas is a terrorist organisation.
What's the function of your question, though? What we need to talk about the cause of this here.
Okay, hold on, Dr. Abdul Aziz. I don't really care what the fuck your name is. The premise of her question is to find out if you're a terrorist, which it seems like you are. If we're just going to be honest real quick, that's the premise of the question, is to see if you actively support a terrorist group, which would make you, by my opinion, a terrorist. Thank you.
A lot of media and analysts keep making this about Hamas versus Israel. Let's get back to the nature of who is Israel. It is a state that was imposed on a majority indigenous population through ethnic cleansing, through massacres, through depopulation and refugee crisis. It's a settler colony. It's an apartheid state by every human rights organization in the world. Hamas does not represent all of Palestinians.
It's the same human rights organizations that currently hold the president of North Korea and the Islamic regime of Iran UN accountable for women's rights in the world. So every human rights organization, really, that checks out too.
Every single Palestinian, whether from the West Bank, from Gaza, the refugees, the Israeli Arabs who are discriminated against, are all wanting freedom and liberation.
Okay, there has been violence from both sides over many, many years.
Wrong.
Absolutely, there has been.
Not
by both sides
not equal.
over many, many years.
It's not a situation of
What
parity.
occurred on Saturday by Hamas was beyond anything we have ever seen before. There is no way you can sit there and not condemn the actions of Hamas. Do you condemn the beheading of babies?
First of all, the beheading story has been actually refuted by Israeli authorities, so you are repeating and propagating propaganda.
It has not been refuted by Israeli authorities.
Yes, it has.
The US, Blinken is there, he has seen verified images. There are independent journalists who have verified the existence of images of babies who have been beheaded and burnt babies. Are you trying to say that is propaganda?
Yeah, I am, because actually today that image of a burnt baby was exposed as AI intelligence. And can I just say something? Let's say that these atrocities were committed, which are of course must be condemned and are atrocities. Let's say that they were committed, and we know that atrocities were committed. Why is it?
What? Because they're Jews, it's okay.
Only Jewish babies matter. Why is it that you're only taking an interest now?
No.
Why did the clock start on October 7th when babies have literally been murdered and massacred?
You were on Q&A 2 years ago. The fight has been covered for years and years.
No. I was on Q&A only because there were rockets fired into Israel. Come and bring me onto your show when Palestinians are being displaced from their homes, when they are being
that is happening right now.
When settlers
Israel
are burning.
is retaliating. They are telling civilians to get out. They are not doing what Hamas did to them.
Are you telling me that white phosphorus on Gaza at the moment is acceptable? It's a war crime that displaces.
Oh my God, this lady is insufferable. Oh my God, I don't know how you guys want to watch this video. I don't even want to. This lady is insufferable.
Do you want to talk about the rape of innocent women? What happened on Saturday, you must condemn.
I've already condemned it. Why are you questioning my humanity here? Do you think I'm a monster that I would not condemn this?
You have defended Hamas in the past. You have also sat in a panel with a Hamas terrorist. You have also retweeted a tweet that is calling for the destruction of Israel. Do you want Israel eradicated? I've looked at your past. I am asking you because you have said and done things in the past. Do you stand by them?
What you're saying here is nonsense.
How is that nonsense?
Because you're trying to paint Palestinians and me, people who are just demanding basic dignity and freedom.
No, leave this nice blonde Australian woman alone real quick. Let me paint the picture. Y'all are terrorists. Hi. Middle Eastern guy, look at my skin. My skin's my ID card. Fully brown Mesopotamian man here. You are terrorists. Nobody likes you. Please listen real quick. Literally nobody likes you. The people in the West are literally wearing your kafia that you stole from Iraqi people like me because they're bored and they want a cool scarf. You are terrorists. Nobody likes you. Not Egypt, not Jordan, not Syria. Jordan is 60% Palestinian. They don't want a single one more of you. It took a year and a half for the king of Jordan to say, all right, we'll take some of your autistic babies and babies that are in the hospital who have cancer. That's your own people. Who said, okay, I guess we'll take like 2,000 of your autistic babies. That's your own people. Nobody likes you because you all act like terrorists. I was at a dinner the other day and somebody told me this story and I completely forgot about this. I never talk about this enough. The Israeli government offered safe passage out of Gaza and like $5 million for any information on the hostages. Not one Palestinian Gazan took up the offer. Not one. That tells you everything you need to know. Everything.
It's sympathy for innocent Palestinian civilians. I shed tears when I saw kids in hospital in Gaza that were the victim of this.
God bless white women's tears. God bless white women's tears.
Now you're attacking my race.
Where were your tears last
My tears have existed for any atrocity that has occurred to any child in the world. I've got you on here to ask you about Hamas, about those atrocities.
I'm saying this bitch looks white as fuck. I'm just saying, real quick. She's talking about white people. I'm just saying, yeah, it's the whole indigenous narrative is not really checking out for you, Kapara. You're looking pretty white right now.
I have acknowledged Palestinian suffering, but I am here to talk about what Hamas did to Israeli
I have already
babies.
addressed that, and I said if we are going
But you're
to
justifying
stop,
it. How can you justify it?
I did not justify anything.
Oh my God.
The reason
This
Saturday
conversation.
occurred is because your people have been oppressed. If your people have been oppressed, if they are
I
occupied,
hate this.
wage a war. If you feel justified in waging a war, fight Israeli soldiers with guns. Don't behead babies. You're laughing at it.
Because you do realize that there is a siege in Gaza where not even food is allowed in.
The Israeli government is sending out warnings to civilians.
We don't have food and water. But Bisan from Gaza got fatter during the war. Sorry, not sorry. I have to say it. I'm sorry. If anybody doesn't know who Bisan from Gaza is, go look up her Instagram and watch her weight gain journey during the last year of the war. I'm sorry, it's not to make fun. Look, I'm a fat guy. I'm a chubby guy. You guys comment on my weight all the time in the comments. I'm gaining weight. You know, I sit and make reaction videos now. It's hard. You know, I also got injuries in both my legs, so I can't really work out. We can commentate on my weight. I'm not trying to escape that. I'm fat. Let's just open it up right now. I'm a fat guy. Bisan from Gaza has gained weight. She's been on a weight gain program. For Weight Watchers, she turned it into weight gainers, Allahu Akbar, in the last year and a half. That's Bisan from Gaza. Go look her up. A lady who's come on camera every day on her iPhone and said, I just survived another day of the genocide for a year and a half. I'm being genocided, I'm starving. And she's gaining weight. Sorry, not sorry. It's a point. It is a valid point. You got to bring it up.
You're here to scream at me or interview me.
I'm not screaming at you at all, but I also can't let you spout.
Are you screaming at me? Are you going to interview me?
On here that
You're not letting me
this
talk.
is my show. Okay, talk.
Okay, so can I talk? First of all, you're saying, why don't we fight Israeli soldiers? You do realize that Palestinians are under military occupation.
Absolutely.
You do realize that there is a siege there. We do not have a standing army. You do realize that Israel is armed to the teeth. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about the settler violence that happens on a daily basis, the murder of Palestinian children by Israelis. Talk to me about occupation. Talk to me about the siege on Gaza. It is uninhabitable. Water that is not drinkable, and yet Israeli settlers and Israelis enjoy swimming pools. They enjoy the accessing free water.
They have swimming pools in Gaza. They had a lot of swimming pools in Gaza.
There are people on both sides who genuinely feel aggrieved. My heart breaks for you. Yeah.
I'm coming here as someone.
Do you condemn Hamas then? Tell me that.
I have already said that I condemn the violence that Hamas perpetrated.
Hamas as an organisation, a terrorist organisation, will you condemn them?
I don't see them as a terrorist organisation. Can you
Did you not see the vision of them shooting down people like animals, and you will not condemn the organisation that perpetrated that violence on innocent people?
What is the purpose of a terrorist label here?
My love, she won't condemn them because she's a terrorist. I know it may be hard for your sweet Australian mind to get that these people in the Middle East can be terrorists, but here's the reality. Radical Islamic Arabs running rampant in the hundreds of millions in population across the Middle East, parroting the same thing. I know it may be shocking, but guess what? We live with them. It is what it is. They won't last much longer. You know, this ideology doesn't have legs to stand on. It really doesn't. It's losing popularity, and honestly, a lot of people are getting tired of it. I can see the rhetoric online changing, and it's not just because I'm speaking to an echo chamber. The idea is, you know, I'm trying to make a change in this space, and you can see people are getting tired. They're kind of over this whole Free Palestine bullshit. So, listen, I know it may be hard to understand, but she's a terrorist, and you should have just ended the interview by saying, "Listen, ma'am, you're a terrorist." See you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching my videos. I love you a long time. Goodbye, class. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.